The construction is done. The drivers and crews are here, and the streets of downtown Phoenix are alive with the roar of racing engines.
I'm Mayor Paul Johnson of the City of Phoenix, and on behalf of everyone in our great city, we'd like to welcome you to the 1990 Phoenix Grand Prix.
And hello everyone, I'm Andy Rodriguez, and welcome to the Phoenix Channel's Grand Prix Countdown. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to take you inside the Phoenix Grand Prix in ways you can't see on other Phoenix TV stations. We're going to introduce you to the drivers, talk with them to find out what they think of Phoenix, how far around the world their fans will travel to join them on the exclusive Grand Prix circuit, how much money is at stake, and how you can get the most out of the Grand Prix. So, let's talk about what we're all here for in the first place, the race itself. This year, 35 cars are entered in the Phoenix Grand Prix, but there are only 26 spots on the starting grid. To solve this problem, 9 cars must compete for the 4 remaining spots in open qualifying. That pre-qualifying took place Friday morning, and we have results. The top qualifiers are Roberto Moreno of Brazil and of Team Eurobrunn, Frenchman Eric Bernhard of Team Espolola, his countryman Olivier Grillard of the Osea team, and Aguri Suzuki of Japan, also making it to open qualifying. This year's favorites to win the Phoenix Grand Prix are teams McLaren and Ferrari, led by drivers Ayrton Senna of McLaren and Nigel Mansell and Alain Prost of Ferrari. And as you can see in this video, crews are down at the pit busy making last-minute adjustments to assure their drivers of a quality ride on race day. And these guys don't stop at 5 o'clock. They'll keep working through the night to squeeze the last bit of horsepower from an engine or align the chassis for maximum maneuverability. And there have been other crews getting ready for race weekend. And it's not just Formula One racers. We have solar-powered cars and Trans Am cars also roaring around the track. Keeping order and keeping score of all this is up to the Sports Car Club of America. They're the highest authority on this track today. And with me now is John Claggett of the SCCA. And John, a real basic question, how fast are they going around the track today?
Well, the Trans Am cars are averaging about 79 miles per hour. On the front straight, they're probably 160, 165.
Okay, for the Formula One races, everyone wants to know that too.
Oh, the Formula One cars are probably up in the 200 range on the front straight. However, I have not seen a speed trap to see what their actual times are, but you know they're cooking.
Oh yeah, they sure look that way and sound that way, believe me. How do you keep score on the track? How do you guys do that?
Well, with the drivers, you have a way of communicating with them. A green flag means the session is off and going, and they can continue at full speed until they see a flag of a different variety that will tell them to slow down. Right there, for instance, it would have been a yellow flag, so drivers coming around that corner would know that they should show caution and slow down.
Okay, because we see the people coming off the track, they're helping that racer and pushing him back there.
Yeah, and those are SCCA corner workers giving that driver a boost.
Looks like a tough job.
In a couple occasions, there were actually red flags in the Formula One session, which means that the car could not be moved, and that was a situation where they wanted to stop the session so that the tow trucks could come out and move the cars so that there wasn't any danger to the drivers.
What are some of the other responsibilities of your group, the SCCA?
Well, we have a multifaceted responsibility at the Grand Prix. The corner workers that we saw on the video are ours, as are many race volunteers. So we get involved in the operation of the event and the organization of the event. But in addition to that, the Trans Am Championship is ours. It is our lead series. It goes around the country on a 16-race championship. It's been around 25 years, and this event is race number 250. And it's a stock appearing cars like Camaros, Berettas, Corvettes, Ford and Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes, cars that you and I can identify with, and certainly the fans, and that's the appeal of the Trans Am Championship.
We just have a couple of seconds here. It also seems like the sort of thing where you can it seems almost anyone can drive. We've got Paul Newman out there. I heard Tom Cruise might even be out there somewhere. These people aren't trained racers.
Well, they are. Paul Newman is
me.
a very gifted professional racer. He's raced professionally for 20 years. These are road racing guys that are at the top of their profession.
Okay, my apologies to Mr. Newman. Thank you very much for being with us, Mr. Claggett of the SCCA. Of course, the Grand Prix has a long and storied past. When you're at the race this weekend, look at the futuristic racers, and you'll find it hard to believe the original 1906 racers barely had more horsepower than one of today's common lawnmowers.
Grand Prix, French for great prize. And what started out as uniquely French has evolved into a sport with worldwide appeal. The first race dates back to 1906 France. The 770-mile marathon featured machines that roared over the countryside at close to 90 miles an hour. By 1950, what we now know as Formula One came into being. Through the 60s, the name Ferrari, Renault, and Mercedes became familiar names through the race. And it's here the pioneers of the sport showed America and the world speed thrills.
Anytime, whether it's those days in the 60s or even now, Formula One is really exciting because it's the ultimate driving a racing machine.
Bob Bondurant was one of the first greats to master tough Formula One racing. He says today's racing and racers are even tougher.
Oh, yes, it is. The drivers today, you know, Senna and Prost, those guys, and the Benetton team also, are really good. I mean, they're really good.
Formula One racing made it to the U.S. in 1959, and Phoenix is the 8th site to host a U.S. Grand Prix. But the real question is, why are we fascinated with it? What is this fascination with speed?
Well, I think like anything, everybody doesn't want to be their average person, you know, working behind a desk or whatever that may be, as a salesman, whatever it is. So I think most people want to be that 1% that is a little different than the rest of the crowd.
It's the ultimate handling machine, and it is speed too, and the sound, the sex appeal, if you will, of Formula One. It's the highest rank of driving there is in the world.
And what was a Frenchman's 1906 dream has become uniquely American. Watch the Formula One cars closely this weekend. They're loud, powerful, and just how we Americans love them. Fast.
We'll take a break now, but when we come back, the winner walks off with plenty of cash, but how much will Phoenix make? That story's next. We've all heard the term winner's circle, but what does that mean? It's more than where you just stand when you receive your race winnings. It means power. Win a Grand Prix and you move a step closer to winning the World Championship. Win a World Championship and a top driver can more or less do as one pleases. Case in point, last season's champ Alain Prost moved from the McLaren to the Ferrari team over a clash with former teammate Ayrton Senna, and no one raised an eyebrow. The winner's circle also means top dollars for car builders. The more wins, the more prestige, and eventually more people buying your product. For example, Honda gained this prestige when Prost won the World Championship racing with a Honda engine. Now, that's all well and good for the racing teams and manufacturers, but how about the city of Phoenix? How do we win by hosting a Grand Prix? With me now is Jerry Geiger of the city of Phoenix. And Jerry, how would you assess the immediate economic foreign impact on the city of Phoenix?
Andy, the foreign impact is probably one of the more important aspects of economic impact, and the reason I say that is a goodly portion of the economic impact is generated from the spending that takes place surrounding the event. The spending by the fans, by the teams themselves, by the promoter. By far and large, the more benefit to the city is derived from the type of fan that comes into the area from out of state or out of the country, for that matter, stays in local hotels, spends money in restaurants, and that generates a lot of the economic impact, and we really think that this year that's improved.
Okay, and one other question. Do you expect this increase to increase annually as the City of Phoenix becomes a regular on the Grand Prix circuit?
We'd like to think that as the Grand Prix event is around, that the local people will become more attuned to what Formula One racing is all about and will accept it as an event. And the more local people that show up to support the race, certainly that'll have a positive impact on the economic benefit.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry Geiger, for being with us on Grand Prix Countdown. As far as what the city actually generated last year, the hard numbers showed race fans spent well over $14 million for the three-day event. Total economic impact was estimated at $26 million pumped into the local economy. That means local service groups like hotels and retailers, and those who provide entertainment and recreation all got a piece of the racing pie. And there's more. Along with the jet set, national and international business leaders were in attendance. Their presence and possible impact can't truly be measured, but you never know what could happen if they take a liking to Phoenix. That's what race weekend vendors are hoping for, that fans will take a liking to their sweatshirts, mugs, sun visors, and you name it. The first day of sales brought healthy amounts of dollars to the Valley. Local people and Valley visitors from around the world were spending money on unique racing items just for this event. Clothing wasn't all, food was also selling like hotcakes. Overall, most vendors say the money so far is music to their ears.
Yes, good, especially for a Friday. I think Saturday, Sunday, normally we get 3 to 4 times as many people, so tomorrow will be a real jam up out here.
Most vendors say they'll be selling their racing items in the downtown area from now through Sunday night. And still ahead, if this is the weekend, it must be Phoenix. A look at globe-trotting journalists and the groupies that follow the Grand Prix. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Grand Prix Countdown. And so far you've seen the who, what, where, when, and why of the Grand Prix. But what about the how? How close is parking to the track, and how do you get to the action while avoiding crowded parking lots like this? The answer is on this race map. There's plenty of parking, as you see here in red, but remember, prices will be at a premium. An alternative is to use the park and ride lots set up by Phoenix Transit. They'll be located at Thomas Mall, Phoenix College, and at Central and McDowell.
It'll be non-stop service all the way into downtown, and then there will be a loop that goes as close into the racetrack as we can get with the buses.
That'll be closer than they were last year, so that's welcome news. And every gate will be accessible by the buses, so your walking will be mercifully short. And that's information that may not only be news to you, but to our foreign visitors who understand English. Hundreds of people from around the world are in the Valley this weekend for the race, and while many don't speak the language, they're communicating a simple message. They're happy to be here. These two racing fans from Tokyo say they're combining fun and work. They're covering a race for a Tokyo magazine called F1, and they're enjoying what the Valley says it has to offer to them.
I'm Japanese magazine photographer. Good condition, good people. I'm fine, good.
Very nice weather and good. I think a good city, pretty and beautiful.
Judging from their expressions and their body language, these two can't wait for the races to start. This is their first trip to Phoenix and America, and already they want to come back.
I'm Diane Mulligan. The International Press Corps really has something to write home about as they cover this year's Phoenix Iceberg Grand Prix.
God, she's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time.
Good times, that's one of the reasons these international journalists say they love to cover the Grand Prix. The excitement of the race, the camaraderie among the racing crews and the press, and the experience of seeing sights they've never seen before.
It's the first time you see a cactus. It's so strange. I remember last year in Tucson when I arrived, you see the first cactus, and we are very surprised to see growing like this in the desert in nothing.
At the media cocktail party, flashbulbs popped and tall tales of racing told, although you might not understand every word.
But the fun is because they don't speak English, that's the fun.
It helps you speak almost the right language.
More than 1,200 journalists will be covering the race, with at least 450 coming from out of the country. Tonight, the international journalists get to mingle, meet some cowboys and Indians, eat some Mexican food, and enjoy some southwestern hospitality. But tomorrow, as the cars rev up, these journalists will get down to business. While the racing teams only represent 15 countries, more than 40 countries have sent reporting teams.
I do love it. It's very nice here in Arizona.
The photographers and reporters have a race all their own to get to the finish line with the best interview or the best picture, all while maneuvering the corners of foreign cities and cultures. And while the journalists get ready for the race, Kathy Kovac reports Phoenix is becoming one of the drivers' favorite stops on the Grand Prix circuit.
Gearing up for a Grand Prix can be all work and little play for team crew members. But some found mixing cars and cowboys a winning formula at the Phoenix JC's Grand Prix party.
Western hospitality topped the party menu for race team members as part of Grand Prix night at the Phoenix JC's Rodeo of Rodeos.
People invite us to, maybe to come to a real deal like tonight. And we make a point out of doing it. We worked twice as fast today at the track, so we made it in time to come here.
Although most members have been around the world and thought they'd seen it all, the Phoenix Rodeo was something new for a few.
How about a rodeo? Have you ever seen a rodeo?
I saw on TV, not personally.
What do you think of the rodeo?
It's funny.
Something else race team members say they enjoy even more than last year in Phoenix are the cooler temperatures.
It's much more pleasant weather. Last year it was a little bit hot, which makes it difficult on the people and difficult on the machines as well. This time of the year, of course, it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, the weather is great. The food is very good. Western food it's just about the best you can get in America. And the people are being very nice to us.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. It's the best place in the world, I think.
With Formula One racing a worldwide sport, Phoenix also gets the added plus of being the first city on the 1990 circuit.
It's the first race of the year, so there's always a feeling of freshness and excitement about the things that are to come.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting. You have a lot of competition between the guys, and you're always trying to beat them, and they're always trying to beat you.
This is Kathy Kovac for Grand Prix Countdown.
Well, it's definitely been fun for the reporters and crews, but now the drivers have slapped down their helmet visors and have gotten down to business. I got a chance to speak to one of the top Grand Prix drivers. His name is Ayrton Senna, driver for Team McLaren and a race favorite. His passion for driving is renowned, the pit, his playground. He's intense and wants this win. His strategy?
To be consistent. You got to have a reliable car, and you must have a consistent pace, because it's a long race, it's a 2 hours race, and being street circuit, you're not allowed to mistake, so you have to be consistent, not super fast, not slow, but just good pace, good average. Then you should be with a good chance to win in the end.
Everyone figures he'll be among the top finishers. He knows the Phoenix track, and this year, there's no heat.
Well, it's easier. Physically, it's easier to drive around, and of course, that is important when you drive 1 hour and a half, 2 hours here, and that should make life a lot easier for all drivers on Sunday.
After smoking up the track, the drivers and teams relax, treat themselves to the pit stop equivalent of a Western barbecue, and then plan strategy for the next time on the track. It's like the motion of the cars never quite leave the drivers, and sometimes neither does their sense of humor. What are your strategies that you use to win in a race like this?
Be quicker as possible, but sometimes it's not so easy.
Michele Alboreto is with the team Footwork Arrows. He spoke a little on what he's going to do.
Conserve the car and be quick as possible during the race. So don't conserve too much, otherwise you take one lap from the leader, and even if you are quick in the end, it's not enough to win the race.
Coming up, if you're racing over to the track, don't forget to make a pit stop at Fun Village. That and more in a moment. Now, before you jump feet first into Grand Prix weekend, you might be forgetting something. If you've lived in Phoenix any length of time, you know the sun is a factor. This race weekend could be an opportunity for a great tan or an incredible sunburn. So, how do you keep cool? We talked with a couple of local dermatologists who recommend a number 15 sunblock for fair skin. And don't forget outdoor standard wear for Arizonans, sunglasses or hat or visor. Now, it sounds like common sense, but you might be surprised at how many people may be fooled by relatively cool temperatures this weekend, hiding in intense sun. And finally, don't forget, you can't drink enough liquids. Now, Patriots Park is no longer just a regular park anymore, at least not for this weekend. Paula Heflin reports it's turned into a village where Valley residents and visitors can have a great deal of fun.
If you want an up-close view of the racers burning up the race course, then Fun Village or Patriots Park is the place to be. The park has temporarily been turned into a village for the next 3 days, where people can be close to the race and have some fun at the same time.
Now, if you can take the noise, Fun Village is also a great place to stop, rest, and grab a seat. I'm not guaranteeing peace and quiet, though, but there are lots of seats here.
Fun Village is also a great place for kids. There are lots of unusual things to see, like the Stilt Man. And of course, Fun Village wouldn't be any fun without an Elvis impersonator.
I just come here to entertain and make people happy, you know, and let them know that the king is still alive. Even though he's dead, he's still living on.
And this talented juggler is also part of the Fun Village lineup. We caught him as he was warming up for the beginning of his act. What did the children think?
I like that man because he's funny because he made me laugh.
Now you can buy artwork, you can get a bite to eat or something cool to drink at Fun Village, or you can get information about racing events and other activities pertaining to the Grand Prix. The village will be open until 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Paula Heflin, Channel 35, the Phoenix Channel.
Not all the fun was limited to race weekend. This past week, the Phoenix Grand Prix Committee promoted the race through the activities for the general public, whose proceeds would benefit local charities. Telling us more about this now is the first Miss Grand Prix, Mary Avenson, an ASU student majoring in special education. And this is a great moment we're looking at here. You're about to be crowned the first Miss Grand Prix. What was that like for you?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was an experience I'll never forget.
Tell me about the charity events. What are the main charity events that you'll be helping to participate in?
Okay. Throughout the week, we've been doing several events. We had a golf tournament where some celebrities and local people were involved in. That was for the Foundation for Blind Children. Okay. All the proceeds went to that. They gave out prizes and had an auction for some Delta airline tickets and raised some money through that too. Tonight we have an ambassador's ball, which is going towards, the proceeds are going towards the Academy, Thunderbird Academy for International Management for their scholarship fund. And last weekend we had a 10K race, and we also had a bike race, and it was proceeds for that went towards the Phoenix Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, now the 10K race and the bike race, was that all the same thing? We're looking at video of the 10K right out there on the track, and here's the bike race.
Yes.
Now, were these related?
All the proceeds from both of those events went to the Boys and Girls Club, yes.
Okay, excellent. I believe, I'm sorry, there was one other one that we were talking about here. I believe we're going to see it on this tape in just a minute. There's the golf tournament and stuff. How many people were out there? Any idea?
Oh, there were quite a few. They had a lunch buffet afterwards, and it was pretty packed.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. And any idea of some of the charity events we may be seeing in the next year?
Well, we've gotten phone calls already for the Heart Foundation, other local Phoenix charities. We'd like to promote a bunch of the Phoenix things,
right?
Because it is the Phoenix Grand Prix.
Right. So you have both national charities, of course, and
Yes,
local charities,
yes.
but you want to increase the amount in the local area and that sort of thing. How many individual local charities are there as opposed to the national charities that you people are working with?
I'm not quite sure on that. The Phoenix Grand Prix Committee is included with all the events that are going on, and that's composed of volunteers from around the city of Phoenix, both race fans and executive presidents and anybody who would like to volunteer their time.
And you're going to be going around the state and
Yes, I'll be promoting the race. I sure will.
Okay, excellent. Mary Harrison, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching. This has been a fun week for us, and we hope you have fun at the Grand Prix. We also hope you have a better feel for the event that shows off our community to the world. So, on behalf of the entire crew, thanks for being with us here on the Phoenix Channel. I'm Andy Rodriguez.
Hope you've discovered some of the wonderful secrets about the city of Phoenix and something about the Phoenix Grand Prix. On behalf of everyone in our great city, we hope you enjoy the race.